Before I proceed with the video, guys, we just had another two women shot, and it doesn't say that there were any guys with them. This time in my old neighborhood, the Rogers Park neighborhood on the north side of Chicago, and I'll try to go back over there. That's not too far from me, and get some video live from the location where that took place. But this is very serious. Just like I mentioned a couple videos ago, in the Little Village neighborhood, there were those two sisters shot. One of them was killed. The women in this instance, I think, are in critical condition, and they were sitting inside of a car, and it doesn't say the exact location. It just says two women were found critically wounded inside of a parked car in the West Rogers Park neighborhood on Thursday night. And I'm actually from East Rogers Park. This is West, so I'll try and find out where the location was at. But the victims, ages 29 and 20, were sitting inside of that car at about 10 p.m. when police said that they heard multiple shots and felt pain. The 29-year-old woman was shot in the neck, and the 20-year-old woman was shot in the face. And it's unclear how the two women know each other or what was happening in the moments leading up to the gunfire. Nobody is in custody, and Area 3 detectives are investigating. So it doesn't say that there were any guys with them or what the deal was over there, man. But I'm going to talk about some issues involving women in this video, man. So anyways, getting on to the main story. So this story is highly indicative of what a lot of kids go through growing up in Chicago, and I always bring this up when people are glamorizing the violence on some of these blogs and some of these documentaries. There's another side to this that almost never gets mentioned, and that's the effect that it's having on the people around these guys who get looked at like, you know, characters in a video game. The kids especially just live an absolute nightmare in the midst of what's entertainment for other people. So we have another example of that that just happened 2 days ago. And this young boy, 7 years old, okay, and if anybody can remember back when they were 7 years old, what an incident like this would have been like, how easily people get scared at that age, was told to get under the car after he was then shot in the Englewood neighborhood on the south side. And he described the chaos when somebody shot him and his mom in a vehicle on Monday night in that neighborhood. So shout out to CBS 2 News for reporting this story. One of their reporters, a guy named Stephen Graves, he spoke to the boy. His name is Jamari, and he's lucky to be alive, they said. But on Tuesday, he was up and walking. He carried a stuffed animal from the hospital that he was taken to. So not only was he shot, but his mom was shot too. His grandfather allowed CBS 2 to speak with Jamari as he stayed home from school. And he was shot in the arm, and he had a sleeve on the wound. He also had scars from shattered glass fragments. He remembered going to get something to eat with his mom and her boyfriend after his first day of school. But another car pulled up, and Jamari heard rapid shots near the corner of 74th and Loomis as the chaos erupted. He said, quote, "They just started shooting at the car randomly. Everybody got out of the car, and my mom told me to get under the car with her." The grandfather said, "I'm just grateful that he's all right and still living, and that he's okay, because I thought he was gone for a minute, and I just started praying that he's okay." So the family said that Jamari's mother has a broken wrist. She was shot 3 times as she tried to shield herself. Her 19-year-old boyfriend was shot 3 times. He was also run over by the vehicle that the bullets came from. So the shooter's car ran over the boyfriend. Both are expected to survive. And she said, "I just wish that we could cease the violence, but it's going to be hard because too many people spread out with their own little issues." No arrests have been made so far. And if in fact the boyfriend was the intended target, we talk about like red flags in a relationship. Now maybe he's innocent, maybe he's totally innocent, but I doubt that the mom is going to see this video. But even if the guy's like, you know, totally innocent and hasn't done anything wrong, if that kind of stuff is coming at him, it's time to call it a day. I wouldn't even like be around somebody that is the target of assassination attempts, let alone be in a potential relationship with them. I mean, forget it. It's over. That right there would not only be a red flag, that would be a deal breaker. I mean, there's subtle red flags and there's obvious red flags, and that one right there, time to go. It doesn't matter if you got finances tied up. It doesn't matter. Nothing is more important than the life, of her kid, as far as like things that have to be taken care of at this point. That's priority number one. So yeah, that would be my advice. And there's a lot of ladies in Chicago. I'm probably going to drop another video about this because I need to address this. People saying this in the comments all the time with these women. But there's a lot of things that females can get wrapped up with that can lead to their deaths and lead to them being on these pages and on videos like this. And she got a second chance this time. Next time she might not be that fortunate. So it's time to take the warning that's come for what it's worth, and it's worth a lot. It's worth her life, and her kid's life. So yeah, time to cut ties with that man. If he was the target, and it's possible that wasn't the case, but if he was, there's a somewhat of a crisis, like in the highly segregated black communities of Chicago, with a shortage of men. After the age of 16, statistically, the ratio of black men to black women, it drops off. A lot of the men start to get locked up or killed. And then when you get to, motherhood age, there's the added issue of a lot of guys are not employed. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. A lot of it is society, racial discrimination and things like that. Some of it is personal choices. It's a combination. And but this creates a lot of guys that are not really like not available for the women for one reason or another, either circumstances or they're just gone, locked up or dead. And so the women down there, they have a hard time finding somebody, a very hard time. And even if every single black guy on the South and West Side was to marry a black woman, that would still leave a lot of the women single. And actually, I think I was seeing a stat. I don't know if this is accurate, but that Black American women have the highest rate of unmarried status of any demographic of women on the planet, because that issue is repeated in a lot of major urban cities. Add to that another exacerbating factor, which is the fact that so many black men are marrying outside their race. They intermarry, I believe, at the second highest rate after Asian women. I know for Asian women, the rate is 1 in 3. Asian women is married to somebody of another race, and for black American men, it's 1 in 4. So when you take away all the black men that are with white women and Hispanic women, and all the ones that are locked up, deceased, not employed, when you take all of them out of the picture, these women down there, they have a really tough time. Some of it's the history of America, and like I said, some of it is, from what I see in the schools, personal choices. If you're a woman like that, you want to be smart and weigh your options carefully. Some of them, they might have to start getting on the same thing that the guys are on, which is to go to somebody of another race. But I know that's a tough decision to make in America, where there's like a long history of racism. But if they can find somebody that's not racist, it's probably a good decision to make. But that's just my personal take on it, man. There's your boy Winnie Report. I'm out.